Hi, everybody. Hi, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. This is Perspectives here again. We are here with another interesting topic. Okay, this is a lady sending us a message. I don't know, these days.
It's always ladies.
Yes. These days, people are sending messages, telling us, well, it's their problem, but they just wanted to hear our own views and our own opinion regarding that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this out again, just for us to be able to talk about it and see what we can come up with.
Right.
So this lady says, "Hi, Perspectives. I have been married to my husband for 10 years. And since he lost his job, he has become very unbearable. Beats me up at the lightest provocation, even in front of my kids. I had wanted to leave the marriage, but his family has been begging me to remain for my kids. But things are getting out of control. Ladies, I need your help. I love this man and I have two beautiful children for him." Oh my gosh. Oh my God. This is really heartbreaking,
Yeah.
This really got me though. But anyway, it's okay. She wanted us to kind of help her, out on this. So this is a question that she has just asked us. So Karen, I don't know, honestly, this topic has really hit me now. I don't know what you think, and I don't know. Can you just share your own views? What do you think with the question that the lady has just asked?
I'm sorry for that you're going through this. It's quite an emotional, situation.
Yeah.
Obviously, from what is going on, I can tell you that this man may be battling depression because he lost his job.
Yes.
And because he's depressed, so what you're seeing now is aggression, anger. And because he's angry, he's sad, he has resorted, he's out of control. He can't control his emotions, and he lashes out at you, beating you up. That is very sad. So I'm going to answer this question in two ways. I'm going to look at it in two ways. One is for the man. He needs to get help.
That's right.
He needs to get help. Encourage him to get help. That is one. But for you, domestic violence is something that I don't think I would, encourage anybody to remain in. Yes, you love this man. You have two beautiful children for him. And from what you've said, this started since he lost his job, meaning that he wasn't beating you before then. That is understandable. But, things can get out of control. So what I would say to you is, while he is looking for help, I think you also need to get help. And the help you need to get is to remove yourself from that situation for now, pending when he gets the help. We've had a lot of situations where people have, ladies have been beaten to death. There's a particular one now, this girl, Osinachi, that sang that song, So I don't think, sometimes people say, oh, I'm staying because of my children, but you don't know that you are traumatizing those children. Those children sitting down and watching you being beaten up by their dad is enough trauma. Their brain internalizes the stress that is causing them. And you are not doing them any good, to be honest. You are damaging their future if they are watching this happen day in, day out. That is bad. That is bad. So my advice to you is, would you rather be beaten to death because you want to stay for your children? Again, it's the question you need to answer. So while this man is getting you, yes, you love him. From what you've said, you love him. Get him help. Find out if he can speak to someone. Find out if he can go for some therapy. Get him help. But while he's getting that help, I think it is a reasonable thing for you to take yourself out of that situation. Take yourself out of that situation. before it gets too late. And that is my advice for you. Yeah.
Ooh, wonderful. You said it all, you know. Well, in as much as things happens, Karen, and I think that we get carried away with emotions, right?
Yeah.
I know you love this gentleman, and obviously things are getting out of hands.
Yeah.
You know, beating you up in front of your kids is not ideal. You should get out from that relationship
Yeah.
because it's no longer a
No,
relationship.
no.
And excuse me, I know the man lost his job, yes, but that is not the reason he should be doing what he's doing. You know, if you're frustrated, go outside and then release your frustrations outside and then come inside the house and live with your family in a peaceful environment.
That's right.
Like you said, all this chaos, children don't need to see it because it affects them
Of course.
very well
Of course.
as they are growing up. And you've got beautiful children, yeah, but you don't want them to end the way you and your husband you don't want them to have the type of life that you guys are living, because at the end of the day, they watch things, they grow with
Of
it,
course.
and then they
And
duplicate
then,
the same thing.
exactly.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the best thing to do is to remove yourself, like Karen said, from that toxic relationship, because it's no longer a relationship. You know, move yourself away from there, save your life.
Yeah.
Now you're still living. Like you said, a lot of incidents, you know.
A lot
of them, Karen.
and you know, the truth about it is, you know, we come from a culture that, you know, people know how to shame, you know, marriage shame, you know, or sing, or well, I don't even know the word to use. You know, sometimes you don't know the story, what somebody has gone through in relationship, but they are single mothers. I would rather that you raise healthy, mentally sound children as a single mother than continue to be putting up with in that toxic environment.
That's right.
You understand? And I think, you know, we don't get, you know, there's not enough sensitization to our community for them to realize that it is better. I don't know if I've told you a story. I have somebody who is very close to us, and their marriage was chaos, Amaka. Very close person to me. Their marriage was chaos. They actually didn't have kids, but their marriage was chaotic. They were almost killing themselves. And guess what happened? They both of them, when they are separate, the man went and got married too. The woman went and got, and they're all happy.
Married.
And you guess what? They all have children now. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, you know, I don't understand why people will tell you stay because of the children. Because that is chaotic enough. That is chaotic enough.
Well, people will advise you, but you are the one wearing the shoe. You know, the families are not there.
Yeah.
They are advising you, you know. There's something about our culture. You know, you don't want to have that stigma. She's no longer in her husband's house. And I think that's the only reason family are saying, please
That's the
stay.
reason why many people are in that kind of environment.
Yeah. So it's really something that our people need to be educated.
Yes, that's right.
You know, they need to know about this.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of marriage for me is no longer marriage. You know, it's just like the man is using you as a punching bag.
And the truth is, two things will happen. God forbid he kills you. You understand? But if that doesn't happen, let's say he's in this part of the world that, you know, it gets into the law and he gets, you know, gets convicted and he's jailed. You understand? And then the children not only have to deal with the fact that, you know, my mother and my dad are split up, my father also is in jail. I mean, this is not worth it.
No.
You know, both of you can just go your separate way. I'm not an advocate for divorce and far from that. But when somebody's life is in danger, I think safety comes first. Let him go and get help. While he's getting that help, remove yourself from the situation. If he finally gets help, works on himself, you guys can see how you can come back and have a resolution and see how you can get things. That is if you still think that the relationship is worth fighting for, you know. But there is no justification, Amaka,
That's
for
right.
you to be in that kind
Abusive
of toxic environment.
relationship.
A man beating you at the slightest provocation.
Yes. And again, in front of the children.
In front of the children.
Oh my goodness.
So you are ending up raising children who would think it's okay to beat up their spouse or beat up their wife.
Their wives, yeah.
So you are not doing both yourself and the children any good. So what is enough for the wife? You don't advise women. They say there are two sets of they say there are two sets of people that you cannot advise.
Okay.
A woman that is in love and a woman that has a prophet.
Oh Lord.
A woman in love and a woman that has a prophet.
Okay.
A prophet that prophesies. You can't advise those two.
All right.
So whatever you say, my prophet said.
Okay.
You understand?
All right.
So we can only advise.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's your
own
call.
decision.
It's your call.
It's your own decision to know which one is good for you, whether to leave that abusive relationship or for you to be there. But with us, we're just saying you have to make your decision. But we've highlighted things to you.
Yeah.
The man, your husband, needs help. You yourself, you need help.
Exactly.
And then you need to take your children and yourself out of that abusive relationship.
Yeah.
I think we've said it all.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. I don't think there's any other thing that anyone can say apart from what we just mentioned now. So, guys, we've said it all. I don't know what else we can say, but if you have anything apart from what we have just said, please drop it at the comment section.
Yeah.
Share this video, like it, and we will see you on our next episode. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.